Welcome in, everybody. This is SciTech's resume workshop on your career compass and navigating your resume journey on your job journey. So my name is Asantewaa, and my colleague is over here. Piper, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Piper Cleveland. I am the program director of SciTech, which is housed at the Minnesota Technology Association. And it is our pleasure to provide SciTech as a resource for students to connect with companies so they can find paid internships. So if you're not already part of that, we can tell you how to sign up for that. But then we also just exist to provide these awesome resources for any kind of career development. So that's me.
Let's get into this, navigating your resume journey. So what's on our agenda today is format, crafting your resume, and things not to do. I know that seems short but sweet, but it's going to be jam-packed with a lot of information. So if you want to grab a notebook and a paper or your resume to make some notes as we go along, you're totally welcome. And at the end of this, you can stay on and we can have a little one-on-one to go over your resume or any questions that you might have about your resume later on after we're done. So contact information goes first. It's always the greatest way to start your resume out. Why would you have a fabulous resume with no way to contact the person behind the resume? So you want to use your first and last name, of course, and an email address. Always use a professional email address or create one that's designated for employment. I know nowadays you're always getting tons of emails, your emails are getting bogged down. So creating a professional email just for employment where you can always check on the status of your application is a smart tip that will make sure that you never lose any information or not reply back on time to someone for a job that you truly want. And then for address, I know that I have on current mailing address on here, but actually you just want to use your city and your zip code since you're putting your resume everywhere in the World Wide Web. Anybody can have access to this, and you don't want anybody just knocking at your door. So just put your zip code and city, and they can kind of just locate how close you are to the job proximately that way. And then also next is LinkedIn and having an online portfolio. These are optional, but having a portfolio does show you can always showcase your work this way. And you can always create one through Canva. And LinkedIn always kind of showcases your work experience and the things that you're tied to. There's another way to make your resume look a little bit more legitimate. So always look into having these options. And then next is a resume summary or objective statement. So write a brief, compelling summary objective statement highlighting your career goals and what you want to bring to the employer. This should be tailored to every specific job that you're applying for. So when you're making your objective statement, please make it short and sweet. You just want to have no more than 4 sentences, honestly. 4 to 5, that's a whole summary. It shouldn't be a summary. It should just be a quick blurb about yourself. And you want to highlight your career goals. So are you a student who's graduating in engineering and you want to go into civil engineering and you want to work on a certain type of machinery? Or are you a statistic major and you're looking into getting into becoming a data analyst? Highlight your career goals in that first sentence, just stating like, I'm a current graduate, I'm looking to um, enhance my goals in data science by using my degree and such. And then you can also show what you're going to bring to the employer. So are you a great planner? Are you good at teams? Are you great at working on projects? Do you have a specific certification that they're looking for that they listed in the job description? Do you have a couple years of experience in working in the lab already from the previous internships that you possibly got through SciTech? Show what you can bring to the table and the experiences that you have. And then when you do this, you can tailor this to every specific job. So that objective statement and summary looks specific to that job. So it looks like you're not sending the same resume off to everybody. Next slide. So certifications and trainings should include anything that's relevant. So any relevant certificates, platforms, programs, networks, or workshops or trainings that you have completed should be listed on there. So if you can work in JavaScript, if you can work in Word, if you can work in um, Python, if you can work in any of these things, know that you should include this into your resume because it highlights the necessary skills that you need um, to be a part of that job, especially if you're reading through this job description and they're saying, oh, we need somebody with a certificate in Python or a PMP, which is project management, and you know that you have that certificate, highlight that in there. If you know that you know how to, you've attended a workshop that lets you gave you a certificate to fly drones and you're trying to apply to a drone flying company, highlight that. Just show anything that will make you more the best fit for the job. And next slide. So skills and the last slide and this slide really go hand in hand. I just want us to touch more base and let's dive deep into what skills are. So creating a section listing the key skills that are relevant to that job is going to really help you. So we have technical skills, like I talked about in the previous slide, which is like certifications, programs, anything that is a specialized knowledge or expert that gives you specific tools or specific tasks to complete something that is going to be an actual skill. So using Word, using Excel, those are actual tools that you're using that you will complete a specific task with. So those are going to fall into your technical skills. Now, when it comes to your soft skills, this is something that is designed with help or input from experts in the field. So time management, customer service, team building, project management, time management, any of those kind of things, those are going to be more of your soft skills. Being a people person, all those things are soft skills that you're going to kind of pick up while you're in the industry and from other job experiences that will also be great skills to highlight because not everybody has great customer service skills. Not everybody's great at time management. Not everybody's a planner. So when you have those other skills, those can boost your technical skills to make you a well-rounded candidate. So relevant information. No, I know we've been talking about a lot about relevant information, but I really want to just tap into this again, just so you know that you want to ensure the most relevant information is going to be the most impactful details that highlight prominently in your resume. So for this, you want to be identify the relevant experiences. So look through your current resume, identify experiences, skill sets, and achievements that closely align with the requirements of the job description. So when you're going through your job description, they're not putting those words on there for nothing. They really want to find somebody who matches closely to that job description. So if you know that, hey, they said they need a coder and you can code in JavaScript, Python, SQL, and all these things, put that in your bullets and highlight those in your bullets so that those relevant experiences can show through. And then you just want to prioritize your work experience in a reverse chronological order and state that your most recent job and focuses on the highlight experiences that directly are relevant to your job that you're applying for. So like I said, when you're probably creating your bullets, maybe you're going to see like, hey, I know how to do this, but I haven't done this. So prioritize highlighting that job experience or that certificate or that soft skill in your bullet so that it looks like it's the most relevant information that you're putting forward instead of just putting information that probably won't be as relevant to the job and won't make you the best candidate matching up to that job description. So just take the information that you have and highlight your most relevant information in that bullet point. Target context. So I know we kind of been talking about context a lot here. Let's just break this down really simple. You just want to have the highlights and outcomes of every position. So highlight what the position hired you for. What are you doing in that position? What is the outcomes? Were you supposed to run a team? Were you supposed to execute a product at a certain time point? Things like that. Highlight your outcomes in every position. Use a number or a percentage to highlight achievement. I have a 95% customer service achievement rate, or I can service 10 laptops in 1 week, or I can bring in a project on time, under budget, in 5 weeks or less. That is magical. If you can do it, put that on there. Because when you give somebody a tangible number or a percentage, it really shows them what you can do and bring to the team. So if customer service is something that's lacking at that company, well, hey, our customer service is like 60%. So that 90% that you have at your other company can bring us back at a 75%. Or hey, maybe every project they're running on at that company is always coming over budget, not on time, and your time management skills and you being able to bring projects on budget at your other company can really help get them to that goal. So that's a good way to show tangible things that you can bring to the company. And then what did you do? Use your own words to describe this and not use the job description. So I know maybe when you first got the job, you probably just took it and took all the bullet points from that job. But you want to use your own words to describe the job that you're doing. So people can see it and feel when they're reading it, they feel that you're doing this position, that you're actually doing the work. So it makes it more personable. And then use keywords from your summaries or skills to be repeated in your job description. So what I mean by this, like we talked about the skills section, right? Where we're talking about certifications, platforms, networks, and things like that. But where did you get this job experience from? Where did you get that certificate from? Where did you learn how to work in that platform? When you're making these bullets and you're highlighting these skills and technical skills and soft skills, make sure that they're prevalent in the bullets that you're showcasing. So if you have the skill of Python, there should be a bullet that directly relates to, hey, I worked in Python to execute this project at this rate. So then they're like, oh, this is where they picked up the skill. And also this also helps your interview turn into a conversation, right? Because when they read through your skill set and your skill set information, they probably wonder like, hey, how do they use this? How do they work in this platform? Where did they pick this up from? So then when you're going through your interview, they're gonna be like, we see that you have this experience and it came from this job. Can you please elaborate a little bit more about how you worked in this platform or this database? And then you can have a conversation with your interviewer. And then create action statements. What is the problem that you're solving? So were you hired to see if why there's so many car accidents at a certain red light? Are you there to increase viewership? Are you there to make more people buy? Are you trying to create a valve for a heart thing and you want to make a push? Show it and create an action statement that shows the problems that you're trying to solve in your position to make your bullets more personable and to really get into that context of what the job is and highlight your skills of who you are so you can jump off the page. So we're talking about tailoring your resume, and let's talk about it a little bit more. You should customize your resume for each job and application, emphasizing relevant experiences. I know I've been saying this a lot, but I can't say this any more than I am right now. So when you're taking that job description and you take your resume, you should always have one standard resume, right? I'm not telling you not to have one, but for every job, you should tweak that resume a little bit. So when you take the job description, you take your resume, I want you to take a highlighter or the highlighting tool on the Word document and read through what they're asking for and then say, oh yeah, I have that position. I have that skill. I have that certificate. I know how to do that. Oh, I know how to do that, but I didn't write this on my resume. Let me make a note to add this bullet so it makes, makes me more desirable. Go through, and then when you have all the things that you highlighted on your standard resume and the job description, you can then take another blank Word document and just fix that one up to match exactly to that job. It's a really good way to just take your standard information and tailor it to that job so you look like the best fit for that company. Now, work experience, I know we've been talking about this, but maybe you know this information, maybe you don't, but this is how work experience should really be laid out every time when it comes to the header of every job work experience. So first you want to list your work experience in reverse chronological order. Sorry guys, talking today is not my best suit. And include on the following for each position. So the job title should come first, the company's name, location and city and state, date of employment, month and year. Don't have to put the actual day. I know most of us don't remember the actual day we started anything. And then the bullet should describe your responsibilities and achievements and use verbs and quantitative achievements whenever possible, which we touched on in another one, but also keep your bullets nice and short and sweet. You don't want to have any more than 4 bullets, 5 bullets at max. You don't want to make it too lengthy. you should all of them should be short, sweet, to the point, and highlight what you have done in that position. Education. So list your education background in reverse or chronological order. Um, put your degree that's earned, the major if it's applicable, the school name, and graduation date. Now, I want to really talk about graduation date because graduation date is very optional, you guys. So graduation date is optional because ageism is a thing, and it can affects you and the younger crowd, and it can affect you as an older crowd as well. So for being an older crowd and trying to combat ageism, sometimes you don't want somebody to say that you're too old for a job or you're probably not as savvy for a job because you have your graduation date and they can kind of guess when you graduated, maybe it was like 15 years ago, but they don't see that you've been working and you have necessary work experience, field experience. So you don't want them to like put you out of a job because you graduated 15 years ago. And for the younger spectrum of ageism is also that sometimes maybe you're not going for entry level job. Maybe you have a lot of intern experience or ran a company before or work experience that makes you more qualified for mid-level junior position. And if you have a graduation date of 2024, some might think that you're too young to be in a management position, but you know that you have the necessary skills and work experience that can make you applicable for that management position. So when you take off your graduation date, it just lets people not know when you technically graduated, or are you too young, are you too old for something? And then also the only time I kind of see that having graduation date might be the best time to have one is if, let's say, you're applying pre-graduation for jobs and you only have a month or two left and you want them to know that you have a month or two left, you can put that down saying graduating May 2024. So like, oh, we're in April, she's graduating next month, she's ready to go. Next slide, formatting tips. So when you're starting off your resume, you want to start off with using a clean blank Word document. And we'll touch a little bit about that later on, but trust me, you just want to use a plain blank Word document. Keep it short and concise, 1 to 2 pages at most. I would say 1 to 2 pages just because even if you have a lot of work history, 1 to 2 pages is easy because if somebody prints it off, they can print it off front and back. So they won't lose your page because it'll be front and back and they can flip it over. But when you start getting to 3 and 4 pages and somebody has to staple it and they have to flip through, pages can get lost. They're not reading a book. They just want to know the highlights about you. And then use a legible font, and so Arial, um, Calibra, Times New Roman. Um, any of those font sizes are appropriate. They're usually the standard. Everybody uses them. It's easy to read. And then use bullets easy readability. So break down your skill section in bullets, break your work experience in bullets. It just makes things easy to be able to read, and be concise with formatting. So if you're using bolding for job titles, keep every job title to be bold. If you're italicizing companies' names, make sure everything is italicized. So it just has that clean, crisp format to it. And then proofread. So check for grammatical errors and typos and font formatting issues, and considering having someone else review your resume as well. So you can go to your career center, you can go to the student help center, homework center, anything like that. Ask your professor. Utilize all those free resources that are available to you on your campus. You can ask your mom or your roommate, but I say go to those free campus resources before utilizing your friends and family. And now let's talk about the ATS system. What is the ATS system? I know a lot of people probably hear about it all the time when it comes to applying for jobs on LinkedIn and Indeed. The ATS system is an applicant tracking system. It's just a fancy way of helping people sift through the thousands of applications they get so that they can weed it down to having probably 90 applications instead of 1,000 of them. So first, the reason I told you earlier to use that blank Word document is because the ATS system rejects all fancy formatting. So you using those Canva or Word templates for your resume, yes, they look really pretty and they look cool and they look beautiful, but the ATS system can't read it. So it just rejects it, and your application never gets seen by anybody. And then 99.9% of applications get rejected from lack of context. That's why earlier I told you to take that job description and take your resume and highlight and then create a new one that actually touch on all the words are in there, so that the ATS system is looking for these keywords. So when it's reading through your resume, it's like bing, 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 and it pushes you on to the next level. Resumes should be left to right. And when you have some of those fancy formats, it doesn't really read left to right. It kind of reads like a little bit left and then a little bit right here and a little bit right. And it just kind of looks confusing. That's why you just stick to the standard, because it should just read left to right the whole time through. And then incorporate the keywords from the job description in your resume to ensure that it can pass through the applicant tracking system and resonate with hiring managers. Because once you make it through the applicant tracking system, remember that the hiring manager or the recruiter is probably the person that created that job description, and those are the things that they're looking for. So they want to see those keywords fly off the page too. So just remember that as you're creating your resume. And now I just want to touch on some of like what a resume should look like and what it shouldn't look like. I know this resume looks fabulous. You can see a great picture of Josephine, but hey, like I told you before, when you're making your contact information, you can have your LinkedIn or portfolio attached, and then people can see who you are if they want to go through your professional site. So there's no need for you to have a picture on there. Now your about section, it's nice, short and sweet, but the way it's lined up, that she has one section on the side and her experiences here and then her training here and her profile here, the computer can't read left to right. Yes, it's put in the left-right format, but it's not reading straight across horizontally the whole thing. It's little sections here and there. Have you ever applied for a job and then you upload your resume and then the information's all wonky in the fields because the computer can't read those things right, and then it takes you more time because you actually have to delete all the information and just upload it yourself? It's because your information is not correctly put in for a computer to just read left to right. Yes, she has all the necessary information. It's just how she put it in there. So just knowing this, guys, like, this is a great resume, looks pretty, but it's not readable for anybody. Now, here's a great resume here. The title of the position they're going is right on top, name, address. They have a professional summary. I say the professional summary is a little bit too long for me. I say, 3 to 4 sentences max. Don't have a whole paragraph. They have their skill section, their certifications, work history, and education. And just touching on this work history part a little bit more, I know that a lot of you guys are in college. Maybe you had summer internships, maybe you have summer jobs, but if you have any volunteering, or you worked on a school board or anything like that, list those on in your work history, because those are jobs those are valid experiences. Being a president or being a chairman or whatever it may be, those are tasks that you're doing, and that gives you relevant experience that builds onto that 5 to 7 years of work experience that people are looking for from someone. And we're just going to end with this. And we're almost at the end here, guys, but things not to do. So don't include any unnecessary graphics or anything. Save it for your portfolio or save it for your LinkedIn. Don't use any over complex languages. Keep your languages clear, concise, professional. Don't use any jargon or really complex terminology that may be unfamiliar to the reader. I know a lot of you guys are science majors. Just know that the recruiter is probably someone like me, and we don't know those terms. So when we're reading through some of those things, make sure you put in layman terms for somebody who's not a scientist to read through it and understand the information. If you're going to use a company's name abbreviation, the first time you should use the whole company's name and then put italics the abbreviation, so that moving forward, they know that that's the abbreviation for that company, or maybe it's a platform or something like that. Just make sure that you have that done. Oh gosh. And don't include references on your resume. If they need your references, they will reach out to you and they will call you like, hey, we need references, and you can give them that information later. Do not lie or over exaggerate, because they're going to actually do these tasks, and you don't want to go to the first day of work not being able to complete anything that they can hire you for because you lied about who you are or what you can do. And I just want to thank you guys and tell you that you guys got this on your journey of finding a job. My name is Asantewaa, and this is our SciTech email. You can always reach out to us if it's about application, internships. If you have questions about resume and want me to look at it, any of that good stuff, we're here for you.